Gita, and today we are on class number 6. All the replays are available on YouTube, Advaita Retold channel. I pasted the link in the chat. You can also catch up on replays in the clubhouse. And the ongoing sessions are on a daily basis on the weekdays and at 8:30 p.m. IST. And on Sundays, Saturday we take a day off, and then Sunday we have an open discussion with Binduji. A small announcement is on the 24th and 25th and 31st and 1st. Those 4 days we are taking those 4 days off due to holiday season. Otherwise, the sessions will continue as scheduled. With that, over to you, Binduji. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakash. Welcome all to the continuing session on Bhagavad Gita. Let me do the invocation, then I'll start today's class. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Vayadharnam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Veda Vivagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. The Gita Dhyana, last one. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvandi Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangapadakrammo Vanishadai Kayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgadena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyandam Nabidusura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So last Friday, I gave you a comparison between the different philosophies, their, definitions of important aspects like what is the absolute, what is dharma, karma, etc. Today I want you to understand a process or a sambandha between the subject matter in the Bhagavad Gita and how do we have to equip ourselves or prepare ourselves for studying that. It is not that we are not familiar with lectures and understanding and subject matter. You have all might have seen in the colleges and other places where transactionary world or the transactional world data has been transmitted to us by the teachers. But there is a difference in the Shastric knowledge or the knowledge about Shastra. The only tool or instrument that is operational or valid in the case of Shastras is sound, Shabda. And that is why it is called Shastram also. Shasanat Trayate iti Shastra. Shasanat means by instruction. Instruction is by verbal instruction. Trayate means liberates. Through instruction, when you get liberation, whatever is being done, that is called Shastra. Now, Shastram is not a book, even though we call that, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Gita, all of them are Shastras, or Smriti, Shruti, etc. But the real meaning of Shastra is where the Shasanam takes place, or the instruction takes place from a live person. He may be called a guru, or a yogi, or a Jivan Mukta, whatever may be the name you call it is different. It is not that what matters. But there is a different from the college lectures or the teachers whom we have familiar with. The reason is that all subjects which we have been studying till now can be objectified. We have familiarity with the objects, whether it is subtle psychologic or the psychiatric or the mental items or the gross items, or even, items which are abstract in nature but objectifiable. These are all coming under a category of what is we call this mundane knowledge. There, textbooks, teachers, lectures, etc., parents and elders can pass on the knowledge because they have an object to indicate to. And it is easy for us to grasp the indicated object from their explanation. But when it comes to Shastra, Shastra is talking about the very subject, the one who is speaking as well as one who is listening. For both of them, that subject, the content of the discussion is their own very subject. But the problem there is that subject can never be objectified. So there is a problem with passing on the teaching or the text. What we see in the textbook of Gita or Upanishad or whatever may be that, they are all called alphabets, in which we call in Sanskrit as lipi. Alphabets per se is not sound. They are representation of the sound or syllables. But they do not have life in them. The reader cannot impart life into the alphabets, the words, or the sentences, because he has no knowledge about it. We are talking about a subjective matter here. So what predicament the listener has is that if he is trying to read and trying to understand it, the alphabets when assembled becomes a form as called a word. A word has a meaning, but when multiple words join together, when they form together, it becomes a sentence. Now this sentence has got literal meaning, which is called the Vachyartha, and a intended meaning, which is called the Lakshyartha. Because in the process of Shastra, the words and the sentences are always coupled with the Vachyartha and the Lakshyartha. But that may not be the case in the case of our mundane knowledge. What is written, when we read it, we understand it. There is no indicative meaning which we have to take from that. It is more of a matter of fact, what is being produced there. The subject matter may be not our subject matter, so we may have difficulty in understanding that out. But it doesn't have the two aspects of literal meaning and the intended meaning. That is only available in the Shastras. And here when it happens is that the teacher or the one who is speaking that, it can be a master, it can be a guru, or it can be a yogi or a jnani, whatever may be the role of the person. When they are talking about the subject matter in the Shastra, they are invoking their personal knowledge, experience, or aparokshanubhuti, whatever they have gained while listening to their predecessors. Idi Shushruma Purvesham. The Upanishad says, this is how we heard from our predecessors or Purvesham, earlier people. So there is a parampara or a transmission of experience. It is not like ordinary transmission of the other subjects. The reason is that we are talking about ourself or our awareness or our consciousness. It can never be objectified by us or the one who is speaking. So what he does is that he shifts himself from the mundane transmission method to the spiritual transmission method of Shabda Pramana. Pramana means of knowledge. Shabda means derived through the sound. Now that sound, how does he invoke it? He is no more identifying with the ego-specified individuality and the name and form which he is known by the world. Whereas he immerses himself in his experience of the self and what the self is transmitting it through the mind intellect of the speaker, which is now devoid of the ignorance aspect, which doubts and viparya or the misconception. It is not there in that mind. Therefore, the mind is attuned to the truth or the consciousness or awareness. And that mind, when produces sound through the means of speaking, it is talking the direction of the intended way the listener should look into. Now here the transmission, when it is happening, it is the same awareness in the form of vritti in the mind, but a sattvic vritti, a pure ripples of awareness, but that is not in the form of self, but as ripples of thoughts or words in the mind of the speaker. Since it is coming from the source of the self, these ripples or the vrittis, what we call it as, transmits the same energy or the same awareness in the speech. And when the listener is receiving it, depending upon the qualification of the listener, if he is the highest order of the listener, where he is not even for an iota of a second deviating or moving out his thoughts or attention from the teaching, the effect is instantaneous. That is what is called the Shravana Samakale Eva Jnanam, or the knowledge instantaneous becoming his own when he is not diverting his thoughts and meaning. But most of us have got highly untrained mind. So what happens is that the untrained mind is first of all not capable of continuously attending to the intended direction. It drops off from the intended meaning to the literal meaning sometimes, or even he may not be even listening because his mind must be thinking about something else. These type of minds are called Rajasic or Tamasic, or the active and dull mind. The other mind is Sattvic mind, which is 100% attentive. There is no deviation for it. So these deviations and lack of attention is coming due to vasanas, or the inclinations with which they are attending the class. When they are attending the class, they have a good intention to come and sit. There is no doubt about it. But when sitting, if the speaker is monologous in the sense that he is talking not with his own involvement of his own Atma, it becomes a scriptural talk of the same subject, but without the life of the person involved in it. It becomes more or a literal meaning with very little intended meaning. Such people may be famous to quote, refer, repeat by heart and all those things. But we will lack a, life in their talking. After some time, what happens is that if that lifeless talk becomes so humming for us, we may fall asleep. Or our attention will get diverted to something else which we are worried about. Because it is not keeping us alive. That talk, if it is coming from the self, it doesn't need jokes or variation in the sound to keep the attention of the listener. Because that liveliness of the speaker will make sure the listener is also awake. But the inclination, the desire, what is appearing in the form of doubts and misapprehension can cloud the knowledge. But attention will be there. What happens is that these becomes the seeds in the listener who have attended but still not clear about the doubts and other things. That is when they do the manana and nididhyasana, it will help them. Now, listening while a live lecture where I am talking about a live lecture means it's a life embedded in that talking. The life in the sense, the presence of the awareness of the Atma in the lecture. When it comes there, what happens is that we are taken away from our objective directional outward to a subjective inward looking. Because the subject is about Atma, our own Swarupa. But what happens is that when we are talking about our own Swarupa, there is no way we can look for our Swarupa outside, because we all know that our Swarupa is, we are the Swarupa. But where it is, we have to look in now through our mind. And it is the mind where these Rajas and Tamas will play its role. So the clarity will not happen in the mind, even though we are hearing about it. So, Sakrit means instantaneous apprehension and making it the aha moment for the listener happens in a very rare case. This way of looking into our own reality, when the topic is being explained by the teacher, comes out of repeated listening, which is in the form of Shravana. Or when we remember that and we, like a cow cutting the food, we have to do the repetition in our own mind about what was the intended meaning of that, where should I look for, or that type of a enquiry will take place in the listener himself. This is a must throughout Bhagavad Gita. Because the words of Krishna is coming from the Atma Buddhi, or he is talking from himself as Atma, not as a friend of Krishna, Arjuna, not as a charioteer, nor as the relative of Arjuna or anything. His advice is coming from his Atma Bhava. So, when we are listening to the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's words, the responsibility to absorb it as it is our own conscience or awareness which is talking to us. Arjuna is only a nimittam, only an instrument. The Arjuna is not the Arjuna there. The Arjuna is our Raga Dvesha mind riddled with Raga and Dvesha. So, all the approach with which we have to do the Bhagavad Gita listening has to be very, very attentive. Now, when I am going to explain this, like from what I heard from my teachers, I have to also imbibe what I experienced while listening to my teachers. But when listening to me, if you are comparing other lectures which you have heard, or the language errors or the methodology in which I am talking, all these can be distractions, because no one is perfect when it comes to communication, because the words have to be used, which is we are familiar with our own this thing. But the approach or the attitude with which it will be coming is not from window. I am telling this because this is how I heard it from my Guru. And when I heard it from my Guru, he had told me the same words before starting the Bhagavad Gita. which helped me a lot because this was the third book which he took after doing what you call Chatusutri or Brahma Sutra, then Kathopanishad, then straight away he went to Bhagavad Gita and told me to do this, which helped me throughout, but it took time to me till Brihadaranya Upanishad is completed, the effect to come. But I was remembering every time when I'm listening that he is talking about my own self. Never did I ever think that I should compare his teaching with the other teachers whom I studied earlier, or whether his methodology of explanation, whether it is right or wrong or anything of that type of a mentality I didn't have. I was open. My mind was open. I wanted to realize the truth. The methodology, the conditions, the language, all these things are never taken for analysis by me. But the intended meaning and the intended direction in which I have to analyze, apply that, because this is a laboratory where our mind has to do the analysis of itself. To such an extent, the mind becomes no mind. Means to be rid of the raga dveshas in our mind. So that having said, when we are listening to Bhagavad Gita, listen to the words of Bhagavan, Krishna, as your own conscience or awareness talking to you. The words which you are listening are not coming from Bindo or his teacher or anybody from that matter. It is coming to you from your Atma. That Atma and the Atma of everyone or everything is the same. Now, when we talk about the mind and the words of the speaker, the mind is not inside our body. The reason is that mind can travel everywhere in this awareness. It is one with awareness. It can travel anywhere, objectify anything, as long as it is in a mode of objectification. But the same mind, since it is attuned with Atma, when it is transcended beyond the words and the mind as a ripples of the mind, thoughts, that mind is in tune with the Atma. There the mind and the Atma are not two. They become one and the same. That is why that time the experience of Atma Anubhava or Aparoksha Anubhuti becomes a reality. In the Sunday's Q&A, when Joy was asking about it, I tried to explain it, but I don't know whether it was possible to look in that direction by anyone. If somebody has done it, very good. But we should all have to understand one thing, that the mind which we think it is operating in our body is not the physical body. It is the cosmic body itself. We are the cosmic self. But when we are not able to do that, we bring our physical body as a limitation. But the mind is not limited by our physical body. Keep these things in mind when we are talking about it. When the words of Krishna comes, I will, at the appropriate time, I will explain it in such a way that we should be able to see it from the way in which Krishna is explaining it, or your own conscience or awareness or knowledge or yourself is making this declaration. That experience, if it happens, blessed are those people for whom it takes place. Because it's very, very, what you call, momentary and without any hurdle, because that is your true nature. But our problem is that these ragas and tveshas, or the rajas and tamas which is there in our mind, becomes the stumbling block for it, taking us away from the attention which we should be having 100%. Having said that, the second chapter is from where Shankaracharya has written commentary for the Bhagavad Gita. So, we will be looking into the Shankaracharya Bhashya most of the time, except places where I feel that I need to bring in the other aspects of Bhashya or other explanation by Ramanuja or others. In the first chapter, we saw the dilemma with which Arjuna threw up his bow and arrow and sat behind the chariot. So, in the second chapter, up to the 10th verse, there is no verse-by-verse commentary by Shankaracharya. So, I will take few verses from the beginning. The first verse of 2:1 is Sanjaya Uvacha. Tam tada kripaya vishta ashrupurna kuleshanam vishidandam tam madhusudana idam vakyam uvacha. Vakyam uvacha madhusudana. So what is that? Tata, as mentioned earlier, where the Arjuna sat behind the wheel. Kripaya, with pity, avishta means overwhelmed. Ashru purna kuleshanam. Kula, akula, ashru purna akula ishanam. That is ashru purna kulekshanam. Whose eyes were filled with tears and agitated. Vishidandam. Vishidandam is to show one who has full of sorrow. Tam Arjunam. Tam Arjuna means to that Arjuna. Madhusudana idam vakyam uvacha. Madhusudana is the one who is the name of Krishna, one who killed the Madhu, the demon Madhu. Idam vakyam, these words, the following words, uvacha, is addressed or spoke. This is Sanjaya telling Dhritarashtra. So, here Krishna is addressing first time in Bhagavad Gita, but Shankaracharya has not commented on these two, because there are two verses only which Krishna says here. Kutatva kashmalam idam vishame samupastitam Anarya Ajustam Asvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, Anarya Justam. Arya means noble souls, or not the Aryans of the Aryan invasion. Aryan was the word used even 7,000 years before in India. So whether it was Aryan invasion or not, I'm not discussing that subject here. So Anarya Justam means unfitting for Aryas. Justam means shunned or unfitting. Aswargyam, neither leading to Swarga. Akirtikaram, defaming. Kirtikaram means fame. Akirtikaram means defaming. Idam kashmalam vishame. This infatuation, kashmalam means infatuation. Vishame means this moment or this odd hour where, it is not the right time to kuta samupasthitam. What has or how has this infatuation overtaken you to make you to throw up your arrows and bows and sit behind the chariot, refusing to fight? It is not befitting the Arya, the noble soul. You are belonging to you are an Arya. You are supposed to be standing for as an example for the world. And you are doing this. So don't think that by doing that you are going to get Swarga. You are not going to go there. Akirtikaram, not only that, you will be ridiculed and, made fun by your society, your people, everybody. The one who ran away from the war. And that is the thing. What is this type of an infatuation or the, kashmalam, or what you call the dependency? At this moment, when you are supposed to be challenging your opponents with your courage and wisdom and or valor, etc., you are showing this. What has happened to you, Arjuna? Klaibyam ma, okay. Klaibyam ma asma gama partha na etat tvai upapadyate. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam tektva uttishta parantapa. Klaibyam. Klibasya bhava. Klibam means eunuch. Klaibyam means like a eunuch. Masmagama. Don't yield like a eunuch from fighting the war. Partha, O son of Prithu, or Prithu Vamshaja. Na etat tvai upapadyate. This doesn't become of you. It is unfitting for you to behave like this. Shudram hridaya daurbalyam. Tucham or minuscule. Hridaya daurbalyam means faint-heartedness. So this is not something which is to be glorified. This your faint-heartedness. Tyaktva uttishta. By shaking that, get up. Parantapa means the one who scorches the enemies or one who conquers the enemies. So that word which Krishna uses to Arjuna is to, make him feel that what he is capable and what he is not doing. The word parantapa is a word which is to be remembered. A warrior who can scorch his enemies due to the valor and the strength and the prowess he has for his war. And here, like a eunuch, you are sitting with faint-hearted, which is tucham, means which should not be there even an iota in you. So, he's really asking Krishna is asking Arjuna, what happened to you, Arjuna? Why are you doing like this? I never expected, I agreed to become your charioteer, knowing very well that you are the one who is going to win the war and I can be of help to you. And here, like a eunuch, you are sitting behind, throwing away your bows and arrows and saying you are not going to fight. What happened to you? So Arjuna is now replying to Krishna, giving his justification. Katham Bhishmam aham sankhe dronam cha madhusudana ishubi pratiyochyami pujarho arisudana. Katham, how? Bhishmam dronam cha. Both Bhishma and Drona. One is my grandfather, the other is my teacher. Aham Sankhe, in the battlefield, how can I Ishubi Pratiyotsyami? How can I fight with my arrows? O Madhusudana, the one who has killed the Madhu. Pujarha, they are all Pujarha. Both my grandfather and teachers and others are all worthy of deepest reverence. And how can I be a slayer of enemies when my enemies are Pujarha? My enemies are supposed to be worthy of reverence and they are my grandfather and the teacher. You have killed a demon, not your grandfather and your teacher. Of course, Krishna has killed his uncle. So, when Arjuna says this, again he continues. Gurun ahatva hi mahat anubhavan shreya bhoktum vaikshyam api iha loke hatva arthakamantu gurun iha eva bunjiya bhogan rudira pradignan. He mahat anubhavan gurun, because noble elders, mahat anubhavan, elder, gurun here not guru, but elders. He is a avyayam or indeclinable to indicate, because he is now giving his explanation why he is having this despondency. Without ahatva ihaloke vaikshyam bhoktum api shreyaha asti. After having, without slaying the noble elders in this world, even if I take bhiksha or alms to live on, api shreyaha, that is even better than killing my grandfather and teachers who are reverence, who are to be revered and decorated. Yeah, and I cannot kill them. Gurun hatva tu iha eva rudira pradigdan arthan kaman bhogan bunjiya. Gurun hatva. after killing the elders, to iha eva, in this life itself, after all, Rudira Pradigdhan, blood-stained Arthan Kaman, in the form of wealth and sense enjoyments and Bhogan pleasures, shall henjiya. So the question is that, how can I live on this, even in this world, after killing the elders in this life, where the enjoyments, all the wealth and sense enjoyments and pleasures are blood-stained by killing the elders? How shall I enjoy them? Is a question which he is asking. How can I do that? Because the enjoyment, the wealth, the kingdom, the pleasures, everything will be haunting me of my, ignoble deed of killing my own ancestors and guru and grandfather and teachers and others. So those enjoyments will never remain as enjoyment with me. They'll be reminding me of the bad deed which I am doing in the war by killing my respectable people. Then 6th verse is, Nacha etad vidmaha tatarat na gariyaha yadva jeyam yadiva na jeyeyuhu yan eva hatva na jijivishama te avastitaha pramukhe dartarashtra. Na katarat gariyaha. For us, which of the two will be more preferable? Yadva, one side we, Jayema, we shall win, or Yadiva, other side, they will conquer us. Yetat, also we do not know what is going to happen. Yan hatva na jijivishema te eva dartarashtra pramukhe avastita santi. Whom by killing we do not wish to live, the very persons, Dhartarashtra means the people of Dhritarashtra. Pramukhe avastita eva asti. They are the one who are standing in front of us. The people whom we should not be killing are the one who are standing as our enemies and challenging us. And if we do not know what will be the outcome. Maybe we may be defeated or we may be defeating them. Whatever may be that, in either case, we do not know what is going to be the outcome. So, he is continuing the 7th verse where he says that Karpanya dosha upahatat swabhavaha Prichami tvam dharma sammuda chetaha yat shreyam syad nishchitam bruhi tat me shishyaste aham shadimam pratvam prapannam. Now here is where Arjuna surrendering to Krishna. Karpanya dosha upahata swabhavaha. Karpanyam, kripanata is vice. Dosha, it is a dosha, it's a ill. Ubhahata swabhavaha. Having smitten by the vice of faint-heartedness. That is the one which is now, which is I am in. He is accepting that I am a Kripanaha now. I am having bitten by the smice of vice of faint-heartedness. Prichami, aham prichami tuam. I am asking you, tuam, Madhusudana, E Krishna. Dharma sammuda chetaha. My mind is puzzled with what is dharma, what is adharma. Dharma sammuda cheta. My mind is puzzled with the duty regarding what is my duty. Yat shreyaha, of what is this good. Shreyaha means good. Syad, what is good for me? Nishchidam bruhi, tell me with definitive decision. Tadme bruhi, please advise me with firm decision. What should I do? Because I am now smitten by this Kripanata of fighting the war for the Dhartarashtra. Shishyahate aham sadimam tuam prapannam. Unto you, I am becoming a disciple. Shadi, instruct me. Please instruct me. You have to instruct me now. Prapannam means I am taking refuge under your feet as a disciple. Krishna, I have no idea as to what is right, what is wrong. Whether I should kill the Dhartarashtra or Dhritarashtra's people, or whether I should let our people be killed by them. I have no idea because I am now dharma sammuda cheta. And my mind is not able to decide what is my duty. This is the mind of Arjuna which is being exposed now, and he is surrendering at the feet of Krishna by asking the very same question that you decide and tell me what is right or wrong. And he is concluding that Nahi prapashyami mama apanyudha dhyad yat shokam uchoshanam indriyanam avapya bhumau aswapatnam riddham rajyam suranam apicha adipatyam. He, because bhumau asapatnam, undisputed sovereignty. Riddham, affluent. Rajyam, kingdom. Cha, suranam api abhideyam. Even God's lordship. Avapya, obtaining. Tat aham na prapashyami. I do not see that possibility of yat mama indriyanam uchoshanam shokam apanidyad. Any means that my senses which is drying up of grief can be driven away. I do not see any reason, anything which is possible. Even the undisputed sovereignty of the kingdom and even the lordship as God's, even I am being made a presiding deity of the Devas. I do not see that those things can quench my grief with which the sense organs are drying up. How can I do not see any means by which I can shake up my despondency, get up and fight the war. Because even if you say that you are going to make me the king of the undisputed kingdom after killing the Dhritarashtra people, or even if you say that you will make me the king of the Lord of the Devas, even then killing these people, if I am being given such post, those things will be reminding me of my bad duties, because of which my sense organs and my whole body is shivering, my mouth is parching, the body is shivering, and my, senses are drying up due to the grief. What can make me to shed these things and stand up for war? Eva muktva Rishikesha Gudakesha Parantapaha. Sanjaya Uvacha. Now Sanjaya is telling that Eva muktva Rishikesham Gudakesha Parantapana Yotsye iti Govindam uktva Tushnim Babuvaha. Parantapa. Again, hey Rajan. Now Sanjaya is addressing this to Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya Uvacha. A Parantapa means even Dhritarashtra is a scorcher of enemies. Gudakesha means Arjuna. Gudakesha is then master of curbing ignorance. That is the name which Arjuna has got, because he has no ignorance. But here, now that word used by Sanjaya is to show that he is now caught in the ignorance of what is right or wrong. Rishikesham means Krishna, who is the master of senses. So that is why he is now being addressed as Rishikesham by Sanjaya, because the answer which Arjuna is looking for is how do I control my sense organs, which is drying up and shivering and scorched and becoming parched with, my despondency. Gudakesha is indicating Arjuna, who is supposed to be master of curbing the ignorance, is now under the clutches of ignorance. So the picture of Krishna and Arjuna is very clear in the eyes of Sanjaya, who is telling this to Dhritarashtra. Eva muktva na tyotsye. Having thus spoken, will not fight, that I am not going to fight, is the word by Arjuna. Thus clearly, iti ha Govindam uktva. Having said these words to Govinda, Krishna, tushnim babuva. He became silent. Arjuna stopped telling anything. Sishyasteham shadimam prapannam. I have become your disciple. I am falling at your feet. Please tell me what is right or wrong. What should I do? Tam uvacha Rishikesha. Prahasan iva Bharata Senayor uvayor madhye Vishidandam idam vacha. Tam means unto Arjuna. Uvacha, Rishikesha Uvacha. Krishna spoke. The master of senses spoke to Arjuna. Prahasan, with a naughty smile. That Prahasan word has got very long explanation by the different commentators. There is scorn. The smile of Krishna has got different meanings of it. When he does it, it might be a simple smile, but the smile speaks volumes. Here, Sanjaya is using the word prahasan, iva, added a word as if smiling. Whether Krishna should be smiling or not smiling, it is left to us to decide. Because Krishna always has got a smile. So that smile now at this juncture is really a scorn or a pitiful smile towards Arjuna. That is what Sanjaya wanted us to understand. Bharata means or descendant of Bharata, or Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya is telling the Dhritarashtra, Senayo Ubhayo Madhye Vishidandam Idam Vachaha. Standing or amidst, Madhye means between the two armies, Senayo Madhye. Grieving Arjuna, so Vishidandam Arjunam Idam Vachaha, spoke the following words. So, from tomorrow, we will start what is Krishna's advice to Arjuna. It starts from the 11th verse. So, till now, we have done the picturization, and tomorrow onwards is the actual Bhagavad Gita going to start. Bhagavad Gita means Bhagavata Gitam. What has been spoken by Bhagavat or Krishna is starting from tomorrow. Ashocyan Anyashocastvam is the verse which is starting, which will start tomorrow. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyavada.
Thank you very much, Bindoji. Again, a very deep dissection of how one listens and why it is always about one's. Thank you, Bindoji. I've opened the hand raising and the chat so that if you have any questions, you can come up and ask. Bindoji will be here for about half an hour or so.
So we can, because today's class is more of instruction and preamble to Krishna's words, which will start from tomorrow. So I don't think anybody has got any question. So can we close it?
Sure, Bindoji. Shall we give it a minute? Maybe somebody might come up.
Okay.
Let's give it a minute and then we'll close it.
Okay. Thank you, Prakash. Thank you all for listening to today's thing. We will assemble tomorrow where Bhagavan start talking. Before Bhagavan's words, I will be doing the preamble written by Shankaracharya for the second chapter. So that will be read Sanskrit and in translation in English and explained. And then we will take the words of Bhagavan as the Shankaracharya commentary proceeds further. It may be tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we don't know. We will take it as it is. No hurrying through, because each word of Krishna is your own conscience talking to you, and that has to be known and accepted and appreciated by each and everyone for your understanding. Okay, thank you all.
Bindoji, we're going to have a break, right? From tomorrow is 23rd, right?
Yeah, 23rd we'll have class. 24th and 25th we'll have holidays.
Yeah, so we'll have a break, 2 days break in between.
Yeah, for Christmas Eve and Christmas, both we will give holiday because those who want to be with their family and celebrate Christmas. I am also celebrating Christmas, so we'll have holidays.
Certainly.
Thank you. and we'll assemble on 26th.
Okay. Thank you everyone for coming.
26th is Friday, no?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll have the class on Friday after that. Tomorrow we'll have class, then we'll have on Friday. Thank you all. Hari Om. Namaste. Good night.
Good night. Good.